Sit upright, relax, be alert. Notice the connection between alertness and thoughts. When you are alert, the mind is quiet. There are no thoughts around. When you are thinking, obviously you are not alert, and therefore you are lost in your thoughts. That is the relation. Thoughts eliminate alertness. Alertness eliminates the movement of thoughts. Be alert. When you are alert, you are in the present. When you are thinking, you are either in the past or in the future, never in the present. Because mind is the past. Be alert. Which is same as be in the present. Now be aware of the breathing process in yourself. The entire process of the breathing. This is what we call, you encounter the breathing process with awareness. That firmly establishes you in the present, because breath has no time in it. Time is a mental category. It is there only in the mind, not in the breath, not in the awareness. Be aware of the breathing process. You may notice the breathing becomes even. To get rid of distraction, if any, you may use the words mentally of course, not verbally, in and out. In, out. You don't say verbally, you say only mentally. As I breathe in, I know that I am breathing in. As I breathe out, I know that I am breathing out. Put simply, in, out. You also notice that you do not control the breathing, you leave it to itself. And you notice that breathing happens. You do not breathe, breathing happens. You can see how the sense of doership, how shallow it is. It is just not there in breathing. Breathing happens. You are not the doer. There is no doership. Breathing happens. I breathe in and know that I am breathing in. I breathe out and know that I am breathing out. Now I add breath, I add body to this breathing process. As I breathe in, the body becomes vitalized or vivified. As I breathe out, body becomes fresh because all toxins are thrown out. Briefly, as I breathe in, I know that the body becomes vital. And as I breathe out, I know that the body becomes fresh. Breathe in, body invigorated. Breathe out, body becomes fresh. I know that. As I breathe in, I know that the body is invigorated. As I breathe out, I know that the body becomes fresh. Now we add feelings. As I breathe in, I feel the sense of joy. As I breathe out, I feel the sense of freedom. As I breathe in, I feel the sense of joy. And as I breathe out, I feel the sense of freedom. Breathe in, joy. Breathe out, freedom. This purifies the feelings. The negative feelings will be gone. Breathe in, joy. Breathe out, freedom. In, feel joy. Out, feel the freedom. Now stop watching the breath. You take your time. And just be. Relax. Sit at ease and relax. Slowly open the eyes. That is a brief meditation. The value is not in its content. The value is that you revisit again and again. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Purananam Alayam Namame Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Yathākāśo hṛṣīkeśah nānopādhigato vibhuḥ Tadbhedādbhinnavadbhāti tannāśe kevalo bhavet. Very beautiful verse. We will come back to it. But here are one or two questions. In deep sleep, I slept happily, did not know anything. That is common for all. Good. When mind and indriyas are not functioning, how can there be experience of sukham and not knowingness? In deep sleep, you have only two elements. One is Atma, other is ajnana. Only two. Atma is sukham, ananda. And ajnana is not knowing anything. Therefore, you are blessed by both. Even ajnana blesses you because you don't know anything. And Atma, you are yourself. Atma is your true self, which is God. And so you are your true self in sleep. That's why you are happy. You don't need any support from outside to become happy. You don't need Vishayas, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, you don't need. You don't need anything to be happy. And in waking state, we go into this ajnana, it doesn't remain, ajnana doesn't bother anybody. As long as it remains as a potential, it doesn't bother you. In sleep, it doesn't bother you. In sleep, you don't know anything. It doesn't bother you. But when you wake up, ajnana also wakes up. That's why it bothers you. Jnana doesn't disturb anybody. It is the bhrama that comes out of ajnana that will make life measurable. What is the bhrama? The happiness is outside. And to be happy, you need to fulfill a few conditions. Therefore, the happiness becomes conditional. And the conditions are not always satisfied. Therefore, we mostly remain unhappy, occasionally become happy. And even if that occasionally becoming happy is also not happening, even that eludes us, then we try to create an artificial situation to become happy. That is, the name of that situation is party, something like that. Party, you go to make a party or go to a party. Very artificial it is. And there you try to create happiness. Naturally, that is not happiness. That is not happiness. That is only a sensation. And naturally that makes people sick, both mentally as well as physically. So this is the story of happiness. There is a long story of happiness, So some brief things only I have told. There is a long story of happiness. One of these days we will come to it. Then one more question. When we ask, who am I? Is it not the ego asking the question? So when you ask the question, who am I? Who is asking that question? You see, you have to understand this clearly. You are a person as you imagine yourself to be. In real terms, you are not a person, but you take yourself to be a person. Another name of the person is the ego. Therefore, there is the ego, which is the person in your consciousness. Okay? Your consciousness is on the moment you wake up, and it is off when you drift into sleep. All through the time you are a conscious being, and the consciousness has content. Okay? And the one important content of that consciousness is the ego, which is the person. Okay? But if you notice, the person is not there all the time. There are gaps in consciousness only when you are not a person. You have to notice that. When you laugh at a joke, you are not a person. When you enjoy something, in that moment of enjoyment, you are not a person. And when you are not self-conscious, you are not a person. You are a person only when you are self-conscious. Therefore, in those gaps, what are you? When you are a person, you take yourself to be a person, that is okay. But when you are not a person, what are you? You are the consciousness only. You are, let us give a name to that. You are the impersonal consciousness. Therefore, you are person and you are not person. When you are person, that is consciousness, personal. When you are not the person, that is again consciousness, impersonal. Okay? Now, when I ask you to watch the mind, okay? While watching the mind, you are impersonal. Please note that. When you say, I am eating, I am doing, etc., you are the person. But when you ask the question, who am I, you are impersonal. Therefore, even as the question is taking shape, the person drops. That's why there is the question. But suppose I have to ask the question, who am I? Therefore, let me take a mala and ask the question, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Now already I asked 10 times, let me ask another 10 times. That is person. So, once who am I becomes mechanical, now the person is asking that question. It is person. But if you are earnest and wonder, there must be a wonder. Why wonder? Because you think you know yourself. Now you realize you don't know yourself. And what you take yourself to be is false. Now look at that. It is like I have a ring to my finger for 10 years and I don't know what it is. This is even worse than that. I am myself all the time, but I don't know myself. What is this? That is the wonder. Who am I really? If the person is a product of the mind, it is the mind which creates the person, the memory. Memory creates the person. And if memory is put aside, the person is gone. And if the person is gone, my God, who am I? That is the wonder. And you ask that question, how many times you asked, that is not the point. You asked the question with wonder, that is the point. And if there is that wonder, in that wonder, you are not a person. That is impersonal. Therefore, that answers the question. Now let us come to the verse. In this verse, I have explained already, there is bhakti and jnanam together in this verse. People assume that bhakti is Samadhara Acharya and jnanam is Shankaracharya. Means what? You have separated bhakti and jnanam. This is called fragmentary thinking. Divisive or fragmentary thinking. They are fragments. Bhakti is one fragment, jnanam is another fragment. There cannot be anything more wrong than that. When you separate bhakti and jnanam, you know what happens? Bhakti becomes modha bhakti. Okay? You understand the word modha bhakti. And jnanam becomes sushka jnanam, dry jnanam. It is like you are chewing on a fruit which has become very dry and there is no rasa left in it. You can imagine that it has become very dry Whatever fruit it has become dry, and you are just chewing on it, hoping that some taste will come, some rasa will come, and no rasa will come. It is like the dog chewing on a dry bone, something like that. No rasa is there. And so our Vedanta study becomes like that. There is a name for it. It is called Shushka Vedanta, dry Vedanta. Another name which I like to give is a conceptual Vedanta. That is Shushka. There is no rasa in it. And you can see that also. There is no rasa in it. And then it is also called conceptual Vedanta. Another name which I gave to it is Country Club Vedanta. That is also very Shushka, no rasa in it. So if you take out bhakti from jnanam, it becomes Shushka. And if you take out jnanam from bhakti, it becomes mudha. They should go together. They are not separate. They are like the obverse and the reverse of a coin. So, you know that the power, I am repeating what I said yesterday, you know that the power which makes the sprouts grow, the river water flow, which makes the water flow, which makes the wind blow, which makes the fire burn, that is the same power which makes the trees grow, which makes the birds fly, and which makes the animals roam the earth. And it is the same flower which makes the eyes see, hear. Better don't say me. The me we avoid. Which makes the eyes see. It is the eyes which see, not me. Which makes the ears hear. Which makes the mind think. Which makes the lungs breathe in and breathe out. Which makes the heart pump blood. Which digests the food. Which enables the legs to walk. Which enables the hands to hold. And the same power which enables the speaker to speak and the listeners to listen, that power, hṛṣīkeśo, is vibhuḥ. It is everywhere. It is all-pervading, that power. And I am conscious of that power. When you are conscious of that power, as long as that sense of duality remains in you, the sense of being a small person remains in you, you surrender to that power. The surrender happens automatically. When you are conscious of that power in you, hṛṣīkeśo, the same power is in you. When you are conscious of that power, you surrender. You wonder at the glory of that power, and you surrender. So, the Sharanagati, the Ashcharya, wonder, and the Sharanagati, self-surrender, the small self is surrendered. That is bhakti. And then, of course, you should know you are not different from that power. That is jnanam. Now you see how beautifully they are integrated. Yathākāśo hṛṣīkeśo vibhuḥ. Okay? That is how the verse progresses. Then nānopādhigato. So I have to introduce the word upadhi to you. Okay, that is the job. So upadhi, I told you, you consider this example, the fire in the cremation ground called chitagni, and the fire in the kitchen called mahanasa. Mahanasa is a Sanskrit word, many of you may not know it. So let us call it pakagni. Paka is cooking. Okay. Now if you ask any person, they will say chitagni is very inauspicious, and whereas pakagni is very helpful, auspicious, and we do namaskar to it, and we offer an oblation also in it. It is very auspicious, right? But suppose you say like that, this is inauspicious, this is auspicious. Now I ask a question, a follow-up question. What is Agni? Is it auspicious or inauspicious? It is neither. Okay? Agni is neither auspicious nor inauspicious. But Chitagni became inauspicious. Pakagni became auspicious. How? How the neither inauspicious nor auspicious becomes one of the two? How? Because of association with Upadhi. Okay? If the association is real, means Agni has really become inauspicious in the fireplace, in the cremation ground. And it is really auspicious where some homa is being performed. So they are real. Then you don't call it Upadhi. If they are real, you don't call it Upadhi. They are not real. They are imagined by the human mind. A conditioned mind imagines like that. You are conditioned to imagine that way. Agni is neither auspicious nor inauspicious. It is neither. You are conditioned to believe like that. You see, why cremation ground is inauspicious? Who told you? Don't you know this much? The whole universe is cremation ground. And the one who lives in that cremation ground is Shiva. That is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan cannot be inauspicious. Bhagavan is the one who dwells in the cremation ground. And the whole universe is cremation ground. And what else will be there in a cremation ground? The evil spirits will be there. Don't say evil spirits will be there. We are all the spirits. Now what is inauspicious about it? We are all the spirits. And male spirits, female spirits, children spirits, young youth spirits, old people spirits. All spirits are there. All bhutas are there. And that's why Shiva Bhagavan is called Bhutanatha. You know, Bhutanatha. Pashupatihi. Bhutanatha. Therefore, what is inauspicious about it? And you prepare food and sit alone and eat it. What is auspicious about it? Okay. Therefore, you are conditioned. Okay. Put aside that conditioning. Therefore, Agni, which is one, appears as many, along with certain attributes also. The opposites is auspicious, inauspicious, etc. It appears like that only because of Upadhi. Because the conditioning is unreal. Dvaita people won't accept it. If you call a Dvaitacharya, they come, Dvaitacharyas come. And they don't come like me. I come like a moon. And I just... so Swami TV came and Swami TV went. No big disturbance. A little ripple. And gone. Whereas the Dvaitacharya comes with... so an, ban, tan, he comes with all that. He comes with a variety of sishyas, and then one sishya brings a asanam for him to sit. He won't sit in your seat. A sishya brings, and another sishya brings a cover, and all are separated, and he sits there, and then he says a few things, and he conducts pujas, this and that. He comes with a lot of fanfare. Together with an enormous paraphernalia, he comes. Okay. That is the Dvaitacharya. And you also like some of it. Before me you look very innocent. Okay. But you are not as innocent as you appear to be. You could be very cunning and clever also. So, therefore, for them, there is no Upadhi. It is all real. The word Upadhi don't admit. The one who uses the word Upadhi is an Advaiti. So, because it is the one which appears as many. Why the one should appear as many? Because the Upadhi. If there are two Upadhis, the one appears as two. Like Pakagni, Chitagni. I said two Upadhis, and therefore the one Agni appeared as two. Suppose there are three Upadhis, one Agni appears as three. Suppose if there are 100 Upadhis, one Agni appears as 100. You see, the methane gas fire is blue, wood fire is red, oxyacetylene fire is white. You see how much Upadhi divisions are there. Phosphine fire is cold. There is a gas called phosphine. You may check. pH3, that is the formula. It's a gas. Phosphorus, 3 hydrogens. It's a gas. And it burns. And you put your hand, you feel a bit warm, nothing more. That is the fire, okay? That's why they call it cold fire. Okay, so that is also a fire. So many Upadhis. And the number of Upadhis determines the number of forms that the one takes. That one is vibhuḥ, hṛṣīkeśo, Bhagavan. Now he takes many forms. Nāna is many. Sanskrit nāna is many. Many forms means what are the many forms? You are a jiva, you are a jiva, you are a jiva, I am a jiva. And so that Bhagavan takes the forms of all the jivas. So who is walking? Bhagavan. Who is seeing? Bhagavan. Who is speaking? Bhagavan. Who is listening? Bhagavan. So Bhagavan here is speaking. Bhagavan there is listening. What to call it? What name should we give to this? So, you see, you must have noticed some elderly people, they play cards themselves. The name of the game is solo. He sits and plays the game himself. So, distributes cards, sits this side and arranges and throws one card and puts it there and goes to the other side and arranges and throws that card. So, that is the solo. You must have noticed that. Solitarian. Solitarian. So it's a solo, I think it is. Solo. You can do that with basketball also. You have a basket and a ball, you go on doing it. Solo. So it is Bhagavan is doing that. Only thing is, it is done on such a big scale, it doesn't appear normal. It appears extraordinary, it appears abnormal, but it is not real. The blessed thing is not real, because all upadhis are kalpita. The moment you use the word upadhi, it is not real. So, therefore, they gave a name to it. The name is Maya. And the mantra says, from Rigveda, Indro Mayabhihi Pururupa Iyate. Beautiful mantra. Indraha is not cinema Indra. Indraha Parameshwaraha, the God, the Lord. Mayabhihi, not one Maya, multiple Mayas. Because Bhagavan appears as humans, Bhagavan appears as animals, Bhagavan appears as birds. Multiple Mayas. Mayabhihi. Pururupaha. Puru is many. Nānārupaha. As though has many forms. Iyate, experienced. That is how we see Bhagavan appearing in many forms. One example is given, Nata Iva. Like in India, Tollywood, there is one actor. He has a Guinness World Record. You don't have these records in Hollywood. All these records, you come to India, we have. Guinness World Record. So this person has acted in maximum number of films, 1063 or so. That is the record. That is he is still acting. Brahmanandam, that is the name. He is a good actor, a comedian. He has played more than 1,000 roles. Okay? So he is himself. He is himself. But he appeared as 1,000 roles. Look at that. That is the Maya. Is it not so? That is one example given. So similarly, Bhagavan, he appears in so many forms. He appears as a teacher, he appears as the student, he appears in one place he appears as the gambler, in another place he is offering oblations in the fire as a hota or the yajamana, the one who is performing the Vedic ritual. In one place he is dancing with his beloved, in another place he is playing cards in a club, in one place he is helping someone, in another place he is injuring someone or even killing someone. In one place he is arranging peace among people. In another place he is creating conflict and war among people. What is he not doing? That is the Bhagavan. So, Yathākāśo, like in one Akasha, the club activity is going on, people are playing cards, they are dancing and drinking and all that. In another Akasha, homas are going on, yajna is going on. In one Akasha, students are studying. In another Akasha, the dacoits are doing some mischief. So, Yathākāśo, hṛṣīkeśo, nānopādhigato, who appears or who manifests in multiple Upadhis. Vibhuḥ, he pervades in all these manifestations. Okay? So, you have to understand that Bhagavan. That is the nānopādhigato, but appears to be different. Tadbhedādbhinnavadbhāti. So Bhagavan appears to be different as though appears different because the Upadhis are different. Tat is Upadhi. Tadbhedat means Upadhi bhedat bhinnavadbhāti, appears as though separate. You see, really speaking, all happens, everything, within you and without you, happens because there is a mysterious power that moves everything, that creates everything, and moves everything. Because of that mysterious power, everything happens. So, in this verse, the bhakti part is, you have to realize that you are not the mover. You are not the one who moves. Eyes are seeing, I make the eyes see, no. Legs are walking, I make the legs walk, no. No. Your will is a misnomer. You don't have any will. You believe that you have a will. What you have is an illusion of the will, not a will. So it is at 12:30 and food is served buffet and there is hunger in the tummy and so you go and take a few items and eat. So you say, I exercised my will to eat food. Where is the will in it? The hunger pushes you to get it, food is served ready and you eat it and so that gets digested. Where is your will? But you believe that you have done that. That is the illusion of the will. It is like you sit in the flight and now the flight lands in London. You say, I have travelled so many hours and arrived in London. You did not travel. You did not do anything. So, we used to tell a story. You see, a person, a village guy, he has they don't carry bag like that. They put on the head. He entered into a railway compartment with that. And somebody offered him a seat. Arey, you're heavy, you sit here. He sat there and he carries on his head. And the train is going. You seem to be interested in this story, so I am explaining it more detailed. All of them know this story. That's why I don't see that side. I see this. And so the train is going. And then somebody advised, Arey, why you carry that load? Put it underneath. Okay, no, let us change this story. So a person is riding a camel in the desert. And the desert or desert? Desert, okay. Okay. So he is riding a camel in the desert. Now he is carrying his load on his head. Somebody said, why do you carry the load on your head? Put it on the camel. On the camel back you can put it. No, poor camel is already carrying my load. Why to put more load on it? How is that? Therefore, you are not the mover. You don't have any will or any such thing. You only have the illusion of a will. There are some of these Vedantins who make a big deal of the will. Must have come across such Vedantins. You can, whenever a Vedantin makes a deal of will, big deal of will, probably he belongs to the country club. Probably. You can think in those lines. So, therefore you realize that you are not the mover. If I am not the mover, then who am I? I am the observer. Because the sense of duality is there, therefore you are the observer. And I said it already, why I am bringing it back again, because when you know this much, that you are not the mover, you are only the watcher or observer. You know this much, you think about this, you contemplate upon this, you will be at peace. That's why I am telling. That's why I am repeating. You will be at peace. So, I already told, of course, that power is not separate from you, but you have to realize that. But till then, till you realize that, be an observer, a dispassionate observer. Don't get worked up. Oh, this is happening. Why there is death? Why there is violence? Arepa. What do you know about the world? So I shall tell you one thing, you please think about it. The world is the most peaceful now. In the entire history of mankind, the world is most peaceful now. But it appears not, it doesn't appear so because of CNN and Fox. If you take out CNN and Fox for 1 week, you will understand how peaceful the world is. I am not joking. That is the truth. The real wars, etc., are all behind us. Our Prime Minister said, this is not the era of wars. That is true. This is not the era of wars. Era of wars was over. Second World War is more or less the last war. You may say Vietnam War, Korea War, even those wars are also over. Therefore, so you are the observer. So you must begin, this is the beginning, you must begin by being a dispassionate observer. You correct yourself. You do not say, I am the mover, I am the doer. Don't say that. You are not the mover, you are not the doer. Then what am I? You tell yourself, I am the dispassionate observer. So, then only will you realize your full being as the universal being. So, begin this way, you will realize Tattvamasi, Araham Brahmasmi. That beginning is bhakti, the realization is jnanam. They are there only, flip-flop. A little duality, you are a devotee. A little understanding, you are the jnani. And Mahatmas, they enjoy both. They don't mind to have a little duality. Kalpita dvaitam. A Mahatma said, Kalpitam dvaitam advaitadapi sundaram. The Kalpita dvaita, once you realize the Advaita, the Kalpita Dvaita is more beautiful than the Advaita also. But you begin with that small duality, which is provisional, and be a dispassionate observer. Till then, you will realize, eventually, you will realize, it will take to the realization that that power, after all, is not separate from you. Not after all, of course, is not separate from you. You will realize that. So, and you see what happens. Suppose you assume that you are the mover, that you are the doer, not the hṛṣīkeśo. You are the one who is accomplishing all these things. You assume. It is something like I am pumping the heart all the time and pumping blood through. That kind of an assumption it is. So you assume you are the doer only because you are enmeshed in that particular personality, the person. Another name for the person is the ego. Sanskrit ahankara. Why ahankara? Aham karomi iti ahankaraha. I am the doer. So as long as you are enmeshed in that personality of a particular personality as the doer or as the mover, so what happens is you are caught in the tribulations of life, of that personality. The ego, it comes with a lot of suffering and a lot of struggles and troubles. It comes with that. When you start believing that you are the mover, you are the doer, then that belief, which is false, it comes with a lot of struggle and conflict and suffering. It comes with that. And you will be enmeshed in that personality. And when you are enmeshed in that personality, you will not be able to see beyond that cocoon of that personality. You will not be able to see beyond that. You are now caught in that cocoon. On the other hand, when you think of when you contemplate on that higher power and understand that it is the prime mover, name given to God is the prime mover. You know what Jesus Christ said? I have my being and movement in God. That is what he said. Being means existence, Advaita. And movement, bhakti. My being is in God, my movement is in God. Means when I walk, it is the God who makes walk. When I speak, it is the God who makes speak. So this way, I repeat, I understand that I am repeating it, but I am doing it because this makes the difference between peace versus struggles and conflicts. That is the difference. You believe that by putting a talisman around your hand, you will become peaceful. It doesn't happen like that. So life is not that simplistic, A talisman will take care of your struggles? Never. Only jnanam can do that. So now we have to understand the glory of that hṛṣīkeśo, that Bhagavan, who appears to be different. Why Bhagavan appears different? Because of the differences in the Upadhi. Okay, Upadhi differences only, nothing more than that. I feel like giving you a dramatic example how an Upadhi difference can cause difference. So let me see it works. Because it is with me for quite some time and I have not changed the battery also. And I don't know how to change the battery. I will come to it when it stops glowing. Now it is glowing, so I don't need to change the battery. Now you tell me, you have to look at it as one. Don't say many. One. Okay? One glow. Let us say glow. One glow. If it is one glow, how come you see many things? You are seeing many things? No? Now? Now you are seeing? What do you see? What do you see? Let us party. That is what you see. You see L, E, T, U, S, P, A, R, T, Y. 10 syllables you are saying. 3 words you are saying. 1 sentence you are saying. At least 10 plus 3 plus 1. 14 things you are saying. How many things are there? Only one thing. Now, when only one thing is there, it is not that you are seeing 14 things. The fact is that it is appearing as 14 things. It is not that you are seeing your greatness that you see 14 things. It is not your greatness, Appa. It appears as 14 things. Right? You are a dispassionate observer. You are not creating 14 things. This glow manifests as 14 things. Appears. Manifest means appears. If you take it as 14 things are real, then that becomes a country club Vedanta. Dvaita. They are not real. The word manifest has that problem in it. You have to carefully understand. You need not give up the word. You can still say that one glow appeared as 14. You can still say. But manifested as 14 you can say. But there manifested means appeared. It's all appearance only. Because the glow doesn't become 14 things. It appears as 14 things. Now I ask you, why the glow appeared as L? L? Upadhi. Why it has appeared as E? Upadhi. T? Upadhi. So it appears as 14 things because of the Upadhi. What is that Upadhi? This movement. This rotation is the Upadhi. That rotation consists of 14 Upadhis, because of which one glow appears as 14 different things. 10 syllables, 3 words, and 1 sentence. 14 different things appear. That glow appears as 14. Glow is vibhuḥ. It is in every one of those 14 things. Nānopādhigato. Vibhuḥ. So this is how Bhagavan appears. There is a mantra in Rigveda, Tvam Kumara, Tava Kumari, Tvam Jirno Dandena Vanchasi. Beautiful mantra. A young man is there, dancing with a young woman. Mahatmas do not become jealous. Suppose a young man dances, etc. They don't become jealous. They understand all of that. You see, Sant Tulasidas was going on a footpath, So he has a stick in his hand and he is going somewhere. Then he noticed there is a bush by the side of the footpath, and behind the bush a young man and young woman are sitting and chit-chatting. The young man is talking a bit louder and the young lady is whispering. That is how it works, So, so he is going. And immediately the lady noticed, hey, stop it, somebody is coming. Then Tulsidas noticed, oh my God, I am disturbing their conversation or whatever. And therefore, he started acting as a blind man. Tick, tick, tick. Then the young man said, hey, don't worry, he is blind. Okay. So he walked as a blind man forward, and then they are left behind. They are not disturbed anymore because that hesitancy is gone because he is blind. And therefore, he became again normal and went away. Mahatmas are like that. They don't disturb anybody. They don't apply this measuring yardstick, dharma, adharma, good, evil. That is the yardstick you have, people have yardstick in them. So they carry it all the time. And they see something, measure it. And give a conclusion. It is dharma. No, Mahatmas don't do that. So tvam kumaraha utava kumari. That young boy or young man, you are. Kumari, she also, you are. Then this old man walking with a stick, jirno dandena vancha gatau. Vancha dhatu is gatau. So with the help of a stick, a old man, blind also, going, you are that old man also. Tvam stri, tvam puman. You are the male, you are the female. Nānopādhigato vibhuḥ. That is the Brahma, Paramatma. That is the Atma. So in this verse, there is bhakti and there is jnanam. You see, this upadhi you have to understand. Upadhi here is because tannāśe kevalo bhavet. By the time you dismiss the upadhis, it becomes one. Like I stop rotating, it is one glow. Okay? Tannāśe, tat is upadhi. The upadhi, nasha is disappearing. The upadhi vanishes. Kevalo bhavet. Kevalaha is akela, one, without the second. That is the one Brahman. So now you have to look at this idea of upadhi. What is upadhi? So nama rupa is the upadhi. Okay? Already it is 1 hour, right? So this nama rupa upadhi thing, I'll continue with it. Okay? Now I will answer a few questions because they are pending. This question I will answer more elaborately. You see, as I assimilate knowledge, I have been learning over the years, I get a sense of joy. Okay? That joy is sometimes overwhelming. A similar question came yesterday also. While reading Valmiki's Ramayana, tears come. That kind of a question it is. So I have tears and emotional feelings come. It happens sometime. And sometimes it happens when you hear a bhajan. So what about this? You see, it happens to everyone. Like while reading Gita Bhashyam or even Shankara's Prakarana Grantha, there is a joy welling up in the heart. That is not sentimentality. Sentimentality, you know what it is. Like you see, sentimentality means the Christmas gifts come. And the children, they get very excited and open. And they like the gift. And they start jumping. All that is sentimentality. And you find, not only in children, in elders also you find it. Only thing is, in elders it's a bit more sophisticated. Whereas in children it is very raw. That is the only difference. Therefore, the sentimentality, you know what it is. It is about the worldly things. And it is very short-lived. And there is no illumination in that sentimentality. Whereas when you read Ramayana or when you read some Shankara's Bhashyam, etc., you feel that sense of joy welling up from within the heart. There could be some sense of sentimentality in it, because there is the duality. The Shankara is a great Acharya. That kind of duality is there. But more than sentimentality, it is your Atma that is expressing itself. Therefore, you keep it, you need not do anything about it. Then coming to bhajan. You see, these bhajans are of two kinds. One, some listless, meaning routine things. Such bhajans are of no value. What they do is they put harmony, violin, and then tabalas and mridangam. The instrument, it is called percussion instrument. No surprise that you get some percussion yourself from that. The name itself is like that. Go on beating it. So anyway, therefore they put all that. So once bhajan was going on, it is Ishvara bhajana. I have a value for it. I respect it. I went near because I could not make out any words. Because they are making so much noise, you cannot call it bhajan. The only way to describe it is cacophony. That is the only word that can describe it. But they call it bhajan. So I went near and tried to find out in Samalkot railway station, tried to find out outside the railway station, tried to find out what is the bhajan. I stood there 5 minutes, but I could not make out. And that bhajan was over, they started another bhajan. That too I could not make out. In the meanwhile, the train whistle I had, and so I went to the train. So I could not make out what is that bhajan. So, therefore there is nothing in it. You cannot make out anything. And sometimes you make out something, but there is nothing in it. Like chuk 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 raile bhajana. That is the bhajan, some song. Okay, good song it is. The rhythm and all that is good. But what is there in it? There is nothing in it. So that kind of bhajans will be there. Bhajans will be there. That kind of bhajan. So I don't give any value to it. I see some of the Swamis also doing these bhajans. Like that. Gajanana, oh Gajanana, like that you start. Okay. And if somebody says they worship elephant god, we become angry. Hey, look at that. What is Gajanana? The god, elephant god, elephant-faced god. What is your problem? Somebody says they worship God with elephant face. You say, yes, we do that. So why do you fight with him? Are you not worshipping the God with elephant face? Yes, we do that. Because for us, God is nānopādhigato, not a problem for us. Not only elephant-faced, the goat-faced God also we worship. And white boar-faced God also we worship. Fish-faced God also we worship. You want to bring in another form, that also we worship. You should be able to say like that. You should not get hurt. What is there to get hurt? In hṛṣīkeśo I was walking, and they call it boardwalk. It is not boardwalk, it is cement walk. And so walking, then I have seen one ashram. Hanuman is standing there. Just adjacent to our ashram. Hanuman is standing. And the name of the ashram is Monkey God Ashram. Now, so what will you do now? And if somebody calls Monkey God, you get hurt so much. But the ashram is Monkey God. So, therefore, the point is, the bhajan should not be listless, should not be silly. Bhajan should be inspiring. So once I was going in Bombay, I was walking, and then suddenly I heard a bhajan. I stood there. Then the person who came to take me, he said, come on Swamiji. I said, you wait. I have to listen that bhajan. Because the bhajan is, Hey Bhagavan, sukh mein sab sathi hai, dukh mein na koi. Hey Rama, something like that. I was moved by that bhajan. So bhajan should be like that. Very inspiring. So sometimes I used to lead bhajan. But all the bhajans are verses, of Shankara's verses. Then I noticed that I lead it and people say it, but they are unable to say it properly. And even when they say it, they cannot understand it properly. Therefore, I stopped it. Because I understand it and I enjoy it, but they are just doing like this. So many of them could not make out what is going on. Then what is the fun of such a bhajan? So I stopped it, stopped doing that. Therefore, if you listen to a bhajan and it moves you to tears, there must be some intrinsic value in that bhajan. You feel good about it. You don't make it into a complaint and there is no doubt, don't create a doubt out of it, and you are blessed, you continue with it. One more question and then we can repair or lunch. So similarity between dream and waking state. Good. So it comes from a young man. Therefore let us answer that. Similarity between dream and, we discussed it, So you must be following. In the waking state, we use sensory organs and other tools to make objective measurements that can be reproduced by others as is done in scientific experiments. Sir, you have pulled it somewhere. In waking state, you use your sense organs. That is enough. Okay? No, tools. Tools, these are the tools. Without these tools, what tools, outside tools mean? Can you use outside tools without these inner tools? No. Okay? Then why do you bring outside tools? And thereby confuse the whole picture for yourself. So I go by car. I am using car in the waking state. Don't start like that. You are not using the car in the waking state. You are using eyesight, sound, ear, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. That is what you are using. No, I am using car. Appa, you are not using. You are using. This includes the use of car. Is it not so? Once you have said you are using the 5 sense organs and the mind together in waking state, that accounts for everything. This is philosophy, You cannot make logic extraneous like that. So I am measuring, somebody else is also measuring, and both measurements are coinciding, therefore it is objective. What kind of science are you speaking? That is Newtonian physics. Whereas Einstein said the measurement of a length depends upon the velocity of the measuring person. What will you do now? Don't bother about all those things. That is not what we are discussing. What we are discussing is waking state is put in place entirely by mind and sense organs working in tandem. Period. Okay? This appears to be relatively more real objective than what occurs in dream state based on what I understand. Does this mean we are all collectively in a dream? No, we are not collectively in a dream. You alone are in a dream. And the collective is also part and parcel of your dream. In the dream state, you meet 100 people. Now, where are all those 100 people? In your dream state only. In the waking state, you have a small world in which 1,000 people are there. Where are all these 1,000 people? In your dream, in your waking dream only. There is no waking state. It is waking dream. Therefore, you are having a dreaming dream, waking dream. Okay? Therefore, there is no collective. You imagine the collective. The collective is also part and parcel of your imagination. This question, that what I see exactly is seen by somebody else, therefore that is different from dream. No, it is not different. Because in the dream state also, what you see is exactly seen by somebody else who is besides you. This question is answered in Mandukya and all that. Therefore, that doesn't make any difference. The waking state is as good as the dreaming state. Does this mean we are different levels of reality governed by different laws of nature. No. No. The dream state and waking state, we say, Shankara said in Mandukya Bhashya, it's not that Shankara said, therefore it is like that. It is said with a lot of understanding. Waking state and dream state, he said, Sarva Samau. They are all the way same. Sama is same. Only then why do you count as two states? Count as one state? No, we have to count them as two. For two reasons. One, Shruti counted 4 states. Mantra, the Mandukya Upanishad counted 4 states. It talked of 4th, Turiya. Therefore, 3 must be there. You have to follow the Shrutis Vachanam. It says 4th, and you count it as 1, and then it becomes 3rd. Now, that is not acceptable. 4th is 4th. You have to follow the Shruti. Okay? You have to adjust your thinking to fit into the vision of the Shruti. Therefore, it is 1, 2, 3, and 4th. Therefore, dream is 2nd, waking state is 3rd. That is how we count. That is one reason. Second reason, there is a difference between the two states. This Sarva Samatvam is there, but there is a difference. The difference is, waking state is created by mind and 5 sense organs together, in tandem. Whereas the dream state is entirely created by the mind itself. That difference is there. In that sense, they are different. So you have to count them at 2 separate states. And of course, there is this Shruti. But otherwise, as far as the reality issue is concerned, both are equally unreal. So I am concluding it. You look at how to know. You see, if you look around and is it unreal, that is not the way to contemplate. Then you will say, how can it be unreal? It is real only. It happens like that. So somebody says, I will knock off your upper cloth and so call it unreal. Will you accept? That also you may say. So, not like that. That is not the way to look at it. The way to look at it is, you go back in your memory lanes to your childhood, when you were playing with marbles, etc., where marbles are very important. They are the most important aspect of your life. Is that a dream or not? From today's vantage point, when you look back, how does it appear to you? If I say, all that was like a dream only, do you have an objection to that? That is the way you have to look at it. And then, gradually, suppose I say, you are having that invisible burden of samsara on your head. Suppose I say, come on, be in the present, put the memory aside, and all that is created by the memory, and it is no different from dream. And you hear that. With some shraddha you hear. Not belief, earnestness you hear. Then how do you feel about this burden? It is somewhat less or not? In fact, it is said, whenever you find yourself in distress, you remind yourself that this is like a dream only. It is no more real than a dream. It appears that it is also a dream, and this also will pass on. And therefore, we still do what we need to do. That response will be there. There is no point in getting perturbed by these things. Suppose you tell yourself this much, then the burden is reduced. Just by hearing, this is also dreamlike. Or the Tennyson said something, he said, what we are going through is also a dream, something like that he said. And so when you read it, you get inspired. Therefore, you have to contemplate on that aspect. Okay? We'll come back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnasya